Okay, and we are live. Welcome
Awesome.
to We the People Prepping. I am your host, Dan, and this is Autumn with Autumn's Backyard Garden.
Hello.
We ask that if you have questions, please put them in all caps so that we would be able to uh, see them better. You know, it's a little chilly out here, so I'm still rubbing my hands together. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about what we need to do to get ready for what's coming with the economy here. Get ready for the crash that is an imminent danger here. I mean, we've all been paying attention to the news, I'm assuming, seeing how bad the edicts are that our so-called president is putting out here, the jobs he's canceling, you know, just the economic collapse on its way. So it's going to be an interesting ride. I'll give it that. I'm not sure how many people we have in the chat here right now. I can't really see that. So far, we're like 4 or 5. And I'm not sure if anybody else went live at the same time we did here. So,
I don't know.
I'm trying to schedule it where it's not conflicting. That way we get more viewers. But, you know, some people do surprise lives and everybody winds up on theirs instead.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I did enjoy watching watching you on Angry Prepper. That was interesting. You know?
I also did another one with Gray Man prepping.
I didn't get to see that one. I am subscribed to so many channels. It is not funny. And I pop up a list, and I've probably got 200-300 channels altogether that I subscribe to. So it's hard to keep up with all of them. You know. But,
oh, hi, Gray Man. How are you?
I see Combat Bacon in there. Hi, Combat. He said hi to both of us. Joe Morgan's in here.
Oh, hi, Joe.
I see Mayberry, Be Charming. How's everybody doing tonight? I stream off of my phone, but I'm using my wife's laptop down here. So it's constant up and down, up and down. So what are some of the things you're doing to prepare for what's coming up here?
Well, we have focused primarily on our prepper pantries. We've got several prepper pantries in our house. We've got the freezer, we've got the non-perishable, we've got the HBA or health and beauty aids, we've got the pet prepper pantry, we've got the working prepper pantry, we've got the first aid prepper pantry, we've got the cleaning supply, the laundry supply. Okay, I like to categorize and separate everything out. That way I can keep inventory straight, and I know where everything is, and I know what has to be replaced and things like that. So that is in line. Everything is perfect in that sense. Okay. And then we focused on security. Okay. We have a very good security system in the house now. We have solar lights outside, like motion detector lights, things like that, cameras, you know, that type of thing. So everything in that sense is in place. But
we do a lot of security cameras. I've got them everywhere around, outside, inside. Yeah. Like I said, the only place I don't have them is in my bathroom because that's illegal in case company comes over. You know. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably put some in there just to be safe. But I've got, of course, we have a. He's about a medium-sized dog. He's very protective, though. I mean, you wouldn't want to meet him on a bad day.
Oh, yeah, same here. We've got 3 dogs, so. What?
And then we have, of course, we have our freedom sticks, and I keep
Excuse
a
me.
9. I keep a 9 underneath my underneath my bed, right where I can grab it, and then I also keep a Bowie knife tucked into my mattress that I can get a hold of. My wife, on her side of the bed, they'd have to get past me, but she's got a big ass machete. I told her, if they get past me, just start swinging it. You'll get them.
Yeah, yeah, we're good in that aspect as well. You know, I don't advertise them in my videos and stuff like that, you know, because I don't want people knowing what we have. You know,
I recently made a video on some practical ways for home security. We live in a mobile home, so we've reinforced the interior walls up to the bottom of the windows with steel plating, and then painted over it and stuff like that. And then we outside of we have a garden bed out around all the trailer where the windows are at.
nice.
And on the back side of the garden bed, because you're going to have to step over the flowers to get where you can raise up our windows, we have taken roofing shingles and put nails up through them, put them down there, and then put some compost and stuff over the top of them to hide it. Now,
Right.
Our kids don't go messing anywhere near there, so we're good there. But you step over our gardens, you're gonna get spike nails going through your feet.
Oh my gosh.
But we have a railroad tracks that's behind us, so somebody would get the high ground on us, but they're going to run into some problems there too, because everybody in my area here, most everybody, I should say, is in my mag. So we're constantly watching each other's property. We have cameras on each other's properties, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And I have Wi-Fi cameras all up and down on my neighbors' properties here, and it's logged into their Wi-Fi, but they can't log into my cameras, and I can't log into theirs.
Right.
But we can watch each other's properties and stuff, and it sends me alerts whenever there's somebody on anybody's property.
Right.
But they watch my property, I watch theirs. I mean, a few years back, I lived here at the same place once before with my second wife that passed away. And I was coming in, I was like 20, 30 miles out, and somebody was trying to kick in my front door. Well, my neighbor called me, and my wife was at home alone with our newborn son. And neighbor called me, goes, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Shoot him." I got home, he was laying in the front yard bleeding out, and I come pulling up in the semi. I just popped the brakes and jumped out of the truck. The truck's just going down the street.
Oh my God.
I jumped out, I run up, I started kicking the guy while he was down, and the cops showed up finally, hauled him off. He got 25 years out of it.
Wow.
He was strung out on drugs, and I guess he figured he'd break in and get whatever he could from us, but it didn't work out for him. But yeah, my neighbor just, he called me up. He's like, "What do you want me to do?" I said, "Shoot the son bitch." And sure enough, he did.
Oh my gosh.
And the cops couldn't do nothing about it because he was protecting my wife's life and my newborn son's life. So, it turned out pretty good. But, you never know what's going to happen. And we live in a small town. There's only 700 people in this town. But even in small towns, bad stuff will happen.
Angel. My cats, they very spoiled.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, very spoiled. We've got 8 cats and 3 dogs, and very spoiled. So yeah.
Let's see. I'm into junk silver myself as a safety precaution. I collect old coins from back when it still had silver in it.
Yes.
I collect jewelry that's silver and gold jewelry. I collect that even.
Yeah.
People you'd be surprised the stuff people throw away. You know?
I know.
And
Yeah.
we don't, like I said, we don't leave very much money in our bank account, enough to cover the bills and have a little extra in there. The rest of our
Mhm.
money is kept in secure places like, lock boxes and stashes here and there. But
Yeah.
we don't trust that the economy is going to be stable enough within the next few years for the banks to even stay open. Really, I'm
Yeah.
looking I'm looking for another, like 1920s event, in 30s.
When
So,
my father-in-law passed away, because he was a coin collector, we had gotten all of his coins, and he's got silver that dates back like that. So we have all of his, and he also used to collect like crazy wheat pennies.
oh yeah,
So we have bags and bags and bags of wheat pennies, and we were like, what kind of value do these wheat pennies have?
they actually have value.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. There's a lot of well, they're mainly copper for one. Okay, so they do have value there.
Oh,
Okay, and
okay.
then depending on the wheat penny, there are some of them that are actually worth a lot of money that people are looking to collect them.
Ah, okay.
It's like I've got a lot of old Buffalo nickels.
Yeah, we have a lot of those too. Yeah.
Those are a collector's item. People pay big money for them, and I'm like, wow, really? I got a few hundred of them.
Yeah. I mean, we have literally books and books and books of these darn things. And I'm like, what are we going to do with all these?
Yeah.
I had no idea how valuable they really were.
Oh yeah. I've got old silver dollars before they started mixing it over to mainly tin and stuff like that. I've got them to
Yeah.
where they're still actually silver. And
Yeah.
old dimes and nickels, and I mean, they when they were still made with precious metals.
Yeah. And we also have, do you remember the Sacagawea?
Yeah, yeah,
Have plenty of those too. And I'm like, yeah.
yeah. I get a lot of the mint coins as well.
Mhm.
The collectors mint coins that are actual gold and silver. I like those. They're a nice thing to put on display for one, around the house. But they're also, very valuable too.
Yeah. But the
Uh,
only thing is, they may be valuable to have, but in a grid down situation, what are they going to be valuable towards?
well, see, the ones I have are actually silver and gold, real silver and real gold. They're not the tin or steel or nothing like that. They're actual gold and silver. So they will be a good for when the economy, after it collapses and we start to rebuild, they'll be worth something then. You know, but as far as once the economy collapses, it's not going to be about money anymore. It's going to be about more of a bartering. What have you
Right,
got that you can barter? You know,
right.
like I'm a coffee freak, and a lot of people know I drink a lot of double dead coffee. And just in my preps alone, I store coffee beans from double dead, and
Okay.
I have like 300 pounds of that in my prep,
Wow.
which which will be a great barter item because people want their coffee. You
Right.
know? And I stock up on a lot of spices,
Same here.
and I grow garlic, so I dehydrate the garlic, and that'll be something good for because people are going to want flavoring in their foods. You
Right.
know,
Well, garlic also has a lot of health benefits as well.
oh
So,
yeah, it'll help to lower your blood pressure and just a lot of things that garlic's great for. Plus, it's an antifungal. You
yeah.
know, so but a lot of people haven't really, I've seen a lot of channels talking about it, but they don't go into detail as to stuff to really put away for bartering. I mean, yeah, they'll talk about some alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah, I got more alcohol than I can put in a 53-foot trailer. I've got it stashed everywhere. I, Anytime I got a little extra and I feel froggy, I just go to the liquor store. I'll buy 3 or 4 or 5 bottles, and just stick it back. I'm not a big drinker myself anymore, but it's still nice to have it, and it's good for an anesthetic,
Yeah.
So, but we also, I stock up on antibiotics and stuff. Like, if they give me, say that they give me a painkillers, like when I go to a dentist or something, I'm most of the time I don't even use them. I just store them back.
Yeah.
And I grow herbs and stuff that are proven painkillers.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, plenty of spices. I grow a lot of those. And I'm getting ready to dabble in seeing if I can grow some tobacco here. I'll probably have to build a greenhouse for it.
Yeah, I have a greenhouse myself. Yeah.
Well, the town that I live in, they're pretty strict about everything. They put a stop to us collecting rainwater.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I still do
that right now.
I still do. It's just underground now instead of above ground. So
Well, that's interesting. How did you do that?
Buried some 50-gallon drums and
Oh, okay.
run the catchment system down, and it looks like it's just draining out into my yard, but it's actually going out into barrels.
That's neat.
So it keeps the study off my back. They don't see it sitting out there. They claim that it's a mosquito attractant and all that. Now, if you're collecting rainwater properly, you won't have a problem with mosquitoes. You got to put a mesh screen over the top of your barrel, which also keeps out any contaminants, like leaves and stuff like that from getting in there.
Right.
And I do. I've always put a tightly woven mesh over the top to filter out anything anyhow.
Right.
But, they claimed that people weren't doing it properly and that it was building up mosquitoes around town and all that. And I'm like, yeah, well, then go by an individual basis. Don't just outlaw it for everybody. I wouldn't even have cared if they would have made us have to get a permit to do it.
Right.
To I mean, I pay $25 a year or whatever for. I mean, I have to pay a dog license fee.
Yeah, so do we.
I mean, that's generally $50 a year for a dog license fee. So, but it's stupid some of the things they want you to do. But
I know it.
but we don't trust the banking system whatsoever.
No.
I've had troubles with banks prior to this. Anyhow, I mean, I lost like $3,000 out of my account before and couldn't figure out where the hell it went. And turns out they accidentally put my deposit in somebody else's account. And it took like 2 years to get it straightened out. Yeah. I was like, all they did was they entered one wrong number and it put my money in somebody else's account.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm leery of banks any way you go. I don't store any valuables in a bank lockbox or nothing like that.
Oh no.
I mean, I have multiple copies of my birth certificate and all that, and I store them in different locations. I have fire boxes, I have prepper stashes that have my papers in there that nobody's going to find those stashes.
Right. But
we have really stocked up on food and medical supplies especially. I mean, because I figured those are going to be extremely valuable in an SHTF when the economy crashes.
Yes.
Because not many people are going to be able to afford to go to a doctor when it's going to cost you $5,000 for a damn doctor visit.
Right. Especially if we do have an economic collapse, like if we turn into like a socialist country like Venezuela.
No.
There's not going to be like health insurance and stuff like that. Like it's going to be very hard to get into a doctor one.
Mhm.
You know, it's not going to be like how it is now. It's really not.
That's one of the reasons that we started a mag, was because we seen that the economy was eventually going to crash, because they just keep borrowing against it and borrowing against it, and it's gonna cause some hyperinflation. We've already seen a lot of inflation since Biden got into office. I mean, around here, gas is already going up by 45 cents a gallon.
Same here.
And,
Yeah.
I've seen the price of my food go up by
Yeah.
a good 30%, already. I mean, beans, oh my God, I went to buy a 20-pound bag of beans actually yesterday when I got in off the road. We went shopping. And a couple of months ago, I was upset that it was costing $15 for the bag. Now it's $22 for a 20-pound bag. I'm really? It used to be $7 for a 20-pound bag. So you can see we're already on our way up with this stuff.
Yeah.
And there are places that are actually seeing food shortages here in the U.S.
And you would know that more as a trucker than.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to haul a lot of like Smithfield meats and stuff like that. And I got friends that still haul for Smithfield, and they said that the plant's only running at about 30% capacity. Okay. So that means that there's not as much meat getting out into the marketplace as would normally get out here. I mean, 30%, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what they normally pump out.
Right.
And we've even had some farmers around here have to cull their herds because they can't sell their cattle at market. Yeah. I have a friend, he had to cull a bunch of his hogs because Cargill canceled his contract on him because they're not producing what they normally would produce. And they were buying his hogs, and when they canceled it, he tried to sell them in other places, but nobody's really buying. And for an individual to buy one and take it to have it processed, good luck on that, because I mean, like around here, we got almost a 2-year waiting list to get meat processed. Yeah, it's getting worse than what people think. And in my mag, we have a butcher, and we do have some cattle, hogs, and a couple of cows and stuff. And so we have a butcher on site. So if we need to have something butchered up, we just take it to him. He's in our mag. It doesn't cost us nothing. And then we have a doctor and a couple of nurses that are in our mag. So that helps us out with our medical if we are not able to say that the economy collapses and we can't get in to see a doctor. We have one in our mag with us. So that'll be a big plus for us. It's getting bad, and people don't realize just how bad it is.
No, because they're like this. They don't want to see what's really going on around them. And because if they're anything like my husband's mother or his sister, and the only thing they care about is their mani-pedi, getting their hair done, and what's the newest thing that's going on in this issue of Vogue, they don't care. They're doing 2 and 3 trips to Starbucks today.
Yeah. Yeah. Mayberry said try Asian or Mexican stores for rice, much cheaper per bulk pound. Problem is where I live, we're out in the boondocks. There are no Mexican bodegas or nothing like that around us here.
Yeah.
I mean,
we just now got an Asian market here, so in Tampa. So.
And say, I mean, like I said, we live in a small town, only 700 people. I know 400 of them. I've lived around this area for a long time. So, I mean, on and off I've lived here, but still, I've remained friends with them even when I moved away. So everybody watches everybody's back here, but most towns aren't like this little town. You know, most towns you don't even know who your neighbor is right next door to you. You know,
Yeah.
and see, people got to realize you're going to need your neighbors sooner than you think. So you need to get to know them, get out there, make friends with them. You know, talk to them. Just you know, because when everything goes bad, it's those people that live closest to you that are your first line of defense. First off, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're also going to be your support system. Like my neighbor next door, he got the permits to raise like goats and chickens and turkeys and stuff like that in his yard.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
so what we do is we share. Like when he butchers something up, I get the meat, but he gets part of the harvest out of my garden. You know,
Okay. Well,
and see, like he brings me his chicken dung for my garden, so
okay.
that's a good fertilizer for my garden. You know, so it's a give and take situation here, but we help
Oh,
each other out.
absolutely. It's called bartering.
You know, you know. And, my neighbor across the road from me, he's an older guy. He's blind in one eye, can barely see out the other one, and he's got a lot of health problems, but he has a large piece of land. So I've agreed that I will plant a garden on his property for him this spring, and we will share the garden, the produce from the garden.
Well,
You
that's
know?
nice. See, I wish I could do things like that here, but I live in suburbia. You
Yeah.
know, we can't have livestock. We can't do
Yeah,
anything.
I can't live in a bigger city anymore. I've done it. It's just not for me. You know, I'm a redneck country boy at heart. You know, I mean, I was brought up on a hog farm, so you know, you have a tendency to stick with what you know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be selling our house and moving to our bug out location, but it's right now it is so difficult because the pandemic literally killed me and my husband financially. So, you know, we're trying to build our credit score back up. We're trying to recover as much as we possibly can. And then we have to sell our house. We have to build another house. You know, it's not as easy as everybody thinks. It's really
Oh
not.
no, it's a lot of work. Like I said, I've been working. Before we were talking before the show. Uh, I've been working on my bug out location for 5, almost 6 years now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still not ready to move out to it yet. Now,
No.
eventually, we will move out there, but in the meantime, we're going to finish paying this place off here, and then we will rent it out and move out to the bug out location. And
Yeah,
live there
I wish I could pay
permanently.
my house off, but I still owe 59,000 on my house, so I can't just pay it off.
I'm down to 6,000 left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but times are tough for me. Even you know, everybody assumes truck drivers make the greatest of money, but we don't really when you think about it. You know, and especially since you know I've been helping other people out during this hard time. You know, I've
Yeah,
been supporting other families. You know,
same here. Same
so
here.
it's you know I might here recently. I mean, my paychecks bring home have only been about $600-700 a week. You know, and that's rough considering I'm used to bringing home 2,500 a week. You know,
Same
but
with my husband. Believe me, I know. He was
it's
used
just
to working overtime, and I mean constant overtime, 20, 30 hours a week overtime. And then when the pandemic hit, and he was knocked down to working 1 day a week. 1 day a
yeah,
week? What the hell is that?
that's nothing. You know, I mean, my first wife's brother and his wife, we're still good friends. They lost their jobs at the beginning of last year, got evicted from their home. So they had no place to go. So I gave them my camper. They did a little remodeling on it. They've been living in my driveway ever since, in my camper. And I foot the bill for all the utilities and everything. Well, they finally started to get back to work. They worked for a few months really good. Now everything's slacking off again.
Yeah.
So now they're getting maybe 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's basically been me supporting everybody. And there for a while, I had my daughter and her kids living here.
Yeah.
And my other daughter, her daughter passed away in January of last year. So her and her boyfriend, they split up after that, and she wound up moving in here. So I had a lot of people living under one roof.
Yeah.
There's like 11 of us living here.
Yeah, believe me, I know what that's like.
And my food bill every week with all those people here was about $500-600, trying to support them. And then I got a electric bill in June for $1,200.
Oh my God!
July was just as bad. So was August and September, and I mean it's all I could do to keep up with everything.
Oh cow!
But it is what it is. I'm not going to let people fall flat.
Well, no, but
these are family and friends and stuff. I wouldn't be a very good human being if I just turned my back on my friends and family.
Well, no, yeah, I understand.
But it's put me in quite the financial bind. But hey, I'll either get out of it or the economy will collapse, whichever comes first.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if I wouldn't be better off when the economy collapses. It's and then I've had some people, because I put a coffee account and a PayPal account on my page here on my channel. I don't ask people for money or not. If they want to donate, they can donate. If they don't, they don't. That's up to them. But I've had people, oh, you're selling out. I'm like, why? Have you heard me tell people, hey, donate money to me? I need it. I ain't asking people for money. If they want to give it, they're free to give. If they don't, hey, just hit the thumbs up button. I'm happy either way. But it's people don't understand. I don't make any money off of this. I spend a lot of money on the equipment.
Yeah.
It's getting expensive, but the whole point of it is to get the message out there, to try to get people to start doing what they need to do in order to survive the upcoming disaster.
Right.
And I really, I don't want to see anybody wind up having to live off the government or starve to death or anything like that. I may be an asshole, but I do have a good heart.
Listen, we all have our moments.
I tell people flat out, yes, I'm an asshole. I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but I also try to do a lot of good things to make amends for a lot of the bad that I've done, because I've not always been the nicest of people. I wrote Outlaw MC for a long time,
You what?
Rode with an Outlaw MC for a long time, doing a lot of bad stuff,
With the Outlaws?
I rode with a lot of outlaw biker clubs in the past, and did a lot of bad things. I'm trying to make amends for a lot of the stuff I've done in the past, and this is just one of those things to try to help people, I mean, like I said, I'm no angel. Nobody is, I mean, you show me one person out here that hasn't done something wrong in their life,
No. No. Because when you said with an outlaw, MC, I was thinking, oh no, my God, not the Outlaws.
No, I didn't ride with the Outlaws. No.
Okay, no, because um, I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm going to say it. I have a personal beef with the Outlaws. Oh no, yeah. They murdered one of a very good friend of mine, literally.
Yeah.
He was on his way to Daytona Bike Week, and because he wouldn't take off his colors, they shot him at a gas station.
That's just the lifestyle of that. But I mean, that's just, nobody's going to take off their colors. That's just, now I've never gone that low with stuff. I might have got into a fight with them over it, but I wouldn't have killed nobody over that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't ride with the Outlaws. I rode with a few outlaw MCs, not the Outlaws themselves.
Okay.
I won't mention.
No, I was.
I won't mention the names of the MCs that I rode with, but they're not. They don't have the best reputations.
No, they do not.
Like I said, I did a lot of despicable things in the past. That's not who I am anymore. I mean, everybody out here has probably got a past that they don't care to be known by people. So I don't judge people on their pasts. That's
no, because you know what? It's in the past. And if you paid your debt to society, that's why it's in the past. Leave it there. You know what I mean? That's how I was raised. I was raised, you treat everyone with the same respect that you yourself want to be treated with respect. And that is it.
Well, my philosophy is I treat people how they treat me. You treat me bad, I'm going to treat you bad. You treat me good, hey, I'll treat you just as good.
Yeah.
But, I try to help people whenever I can. And a lot of it is to make amends for a lot of the bad stuff I've done in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't try to hide who I am or who I was. If anybody wants to know anything about me, I generally tell them.
But you know what? It's no one's business but yourself. And that's it.
But, the thing is that if my life experiences can help other people and maybe set somebody on the right track, right? Then why not share? I mean, I've never cared what people thought of me. Still don't. You like me, you like me. You don't, you don't.
Well, I used to be a part of the biker community down here in Florida. So, I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've heard a lot. And some of the stuff I have been sworn to secrecy. So I don't speak on a lot of things. I still have nightmares about some of the things that I've seen. So, when you even just spoke the word outlaw, I'm like,
it wasn't
the outlaw conversation now before I come through this camera, or should I just let him explain himself?
Yeah, it wasn't the outlaw.
I literally.
No, I never got along with the outlaw MC myself. But I rode with a lot of outlaw MCs.
Yeah.
But we kind of were at odds with the Outlaws, to put it nicely. But I was young, I was dumb. I had money to burn.
Well, because it's not cheap being in an MC.
It isn't. No.
I was a part of the Kingsmen. So I worked right alongside of them because I had a business, a biker business. And so, I was always at their clubhouse. I handled their petty cash and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It not the greatest of lifestyles. I would never want any of my family or my kids to go and live that lifestyle. I can tell you that.
No, but there was one of the very own, like MCs that was family oriented. Like they encouraged you to bring your kids and stuff like that to the clubhouse, and like we babysat each other's kids and stuff like that. We always had barbecues at each other's houses and stuff like that.
Well, see, like, that's like my brother-in-law. He rides with Rolling Thunder. They're very family oriented and they're all about veterans and stuff like that. So, it's a good organization. Now, like I said, I got out of that outlaw lifestyle a long time ago and don't ever plan on going back.
Yeah.
But, it caused a lot of economic hardships for me back then, even so.
Yeah.
But well, somebody said something to me here. And some of the Iron Horsemen. Okay. Yeah, well, combat, we may have met at some point or another. Let's see who else said something there. B Charming said she was about to make you pay.
Yeah, well, it's only because when Gutter, that was his road name, when Gutter was murdered, it was done in broad daylight on camera, and they tried to strip his colors, and that is just one thing that you just don't. He was buried with his colors, and we had to have police escort to and from the funeral home, to and from the cemetery, and they had, we were being watched 24/7 by the Outlaws.
Well,
our homes were being watched. It was scary.
When I finally left the MC that I rode with, they still watched me for a good 5-6 years after I left the organization, just
because if
to make sure
you were done.
Oh yeah. But I've been out for a long while now, and I can do without it. I still love to ride, but I mainly just ride lone wolf now. I don't really ride with a group anymore. It's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
But the motorcycle itself, just keeping it maintained is an expensive proposition.
Yeah, it is.
I used to have a 55 panhead, and if you know anything about panheads, it takes a lot of work to keep them up and running.
Yes, I do. Yeah. I used to work in a motorcycle shop. Yeah.
My saddlebags always had nothing but tools and parts in them. It was a beautiful bike. It's just always something going wrong with it, and sometimes I wonder if I didn't spend more time working on it than riding it.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine, he bought him a brand new Harley recently, and I went over to his house and I was looking at it. I told him, I go, "This ain't no damn Harley." "What the hell you mean? It's a Harley Davidson right there. It ain't got no damn oil underneath it. It ain't no damn Harley." Because every Harley I've ever rode, man, you park that thing for any amount of time, you're going to have oil underneath the damn thing. Yeah. You look back on those times, and there was some good times, but there was a lot of bad times.
Yeah.
It teaches you a lot, life lessons.
But not just that, they teach you how to survive. Because there's been many situations, where, especially as a woman, you learned many things on how to survive in that kind of community.
A lot of people out here, I've noticed a lot of people in the prepping community think that they would be able to just go out into the woods and survive.
Oh no.
It's a lot more complicated. I tell people, if you really want to know what it's like to really be a survivor, live homeless for a year. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you can survive being homeless for a year, just 1 year, okay, then you can survive pretty much anything, because you got to do some pretty bad stuff to survive. You got to learn how to hunt, trap fish. You got to learn how to sleep with one eye open. I mean, it's a rough life, you know. I mean, and you do become part of the community after a while, but it takes them a little while to accept you into that community.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not easy at all.
No.
You have to prove yourself, you know, just like you have to prove yourself in the biker community. You would also have to prove yourself in a mag, in the prepper community. You have to prove yourself, especially as a woman. It is not easy, especially for someone like me as a woman, to prove myself that I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know. I've stood up for a few of the women in the prepper community here recently, because people are like, well, she's a woman, she don't know what the hell she's talking about. She wouldn't be able to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, hey, we have some women in my mag that are tougher than some of the men in our mag. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do anything that a guy can do. You know, the thing is they have to be willing to do it. That's all there is to it. If a woman's willing to do it, she can do anything a guy can do.
Yeah.
You know, except maybe peeing for distance. You know, but I have to be a smart ass. You know.
Oh, listen.
But you know, I mean, I know some women that can build a fire in under 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know,
yeah,
and that's in wet conditions. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I know some women that can outshoot guys 100-fold. You know, so I mean, and well, we got one woman. Hell, she won our shooting contest. I wasn't. I was the judge in the contest. I was one of the judges. But in the mag, we have shooting contests and stuff. And hell, she won the shooting contest while nursing a baby. It was pretty amazing. I mean, she had headgear on the baby and everything, and suckling the baby, you know, while shooting the firearm.
Never underestimate us.
It was stunning. I mean, I was like, really, she's going to feed that baby while she's firing that? Well, they put headphones on the baby so that it didn't hear anything, and you know, hell, she held it and pop, pop, pop. You know, it's like, damn. And we have a woman out there that can actually out trap me. You know, and I'm damn good at trapping, but shit, she made me look like an amateur. You know? I mean, she was that good.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's things that I can do that my husband is like, I didn't know you could do that. I could never do that. You know, I can work on cars, for crying out loud. My husband, he's just like, I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, I know how to do oil changes, for crying out loud. I know how to change tires. I can do tune-ups. My husband's like, I got oil under my nails. What the fuck?
Oh, growing up a farm boy, that's one thing I got really good at was auto mechanics. You know,
yeah.
We were always having to work on tractors and stuff like that. You know, and I was heavy into muscle cars when I was younger, so while I was married to my first wife, I was restoring classic cars that I'd pull out of farm fields. You know?
Yeah.
I pulled a 62 Ford Galaxy with a 390 engine out of a farmer's field. I mean, it'd been sitting out there since 1964. You know? And within a year's time, I had that thing up and running, and the body work was all almost totally done on it. You know, I sunk a couple, maybe $10,000, $12,000 into it, turned around and sold it for 42. You know, so there's a lot of money to be made in muscle cars, or there used to be anyhow. But,
yeah.
You know, these newer cars, no, I'm not so good with. Too much damn electronics on them.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
stick with the older cars. You know, like my bug out vehicle is a 1990 Jeep Cherokee Laredo. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it had a lot of electronics on it, but nothing compared to what they're on there now. But
Yeah.
I did away with most of the electronics on there and hardwired stuff.
Yeah. I had a Jeep and I was constantly working on that darn thing. But the
Oh, I was,
number two solenoid finally went in the transmission at 230,000 miles. So I just junked it.
oh yeah. I've been messing with Jeeps since I was knee high to a grasshopper, though. You know, so they were a farm staple. You know,
Yeah.
we could take them out in the fields and never get stuck.
Yeah. 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 We were always a Jeep family. We always had Jeeps. So
I did
became
have a little.
accustomed to fixing them.
I did have a little Suzuki Samurai. Now that little thing was it would tear up the mud, but I if you hit anything in it, you'd be dead. It was that flimsy. I was driving home from work one time, and one of the farmers, somebody had let one of his horses out, and I come around the curve, and the horse is standing in the middle of the highway. Well, if I would have hit the horse, I would have been dead. I mean, it would have wiped out that little Samurai, you know. So I jumped it down in the ditch and come up through the farm field, tore up his field, went down another ditch, jumped across onto the highway again. But the thing was, I didn't touch my clutch the whole time, you know, because I was in such a panic. I didn't push in the clutch or nothing, so it got stuck in third gear. I couldn't get it out of third gear.
No.
It was a rough ride too. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Jeez.
It's it's a fun thing. I mean, but we're preparing here at the house. Like I said, we're doing major gardening this year. I mean, we had a small garden last year, but I
Yeah.
wasn't home very often. You know, last year I would stay out for months at a time. Now I'm home every weekend. My wife stays home, so she can weed the garden while I'm gone. You know, give her something to do besides sit and play on her phone. Yeah, she's still fairly new to the prepping lifestyle. You know, I have bought her a lot of manuals and books to read, and very instructional books. I'll probably do a video on some of the books that I got for her because they're really easy to understand, and they go into a lot of detail about how they give you diagrams of how to do all different types of things, from field dressing to making shelter in the woods, and very informative. So I'm trying to get her up to par so that if there's an SHTF and we've got to bug out and something happens to me, she'd still be able to take care of herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's still not very proficient with a firearm. She only hits like 1 out of every 5.
Well,
but
perfect.
It's practice. But problem is that ammo's so damn expensive.
Yeah, I've heard, and hard to come by now too.
Well, I got I ain't gonna say exactly how much, but I've got a rather large stockpile. Generally, if I say how much ammo I have, people have a tendency to be afraid. But I've been stockpiling for a long while, and I reload my own ammo. I have a reloader, and I have all the supplies I need, from the primers to black powder to brass and lead. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it takes a while to do it, but it's well worth it. So if I get bored, I just set it up in my kitchen, and I go to town, while watching TV. Before I know it, I'll have 1,000 rounds made up.
Oh my gosh.
Once you get in the groove, you get going real good. You got your measuring cups there and everything to measure out your powder, and put your primer in there, your powder, and feed everything properly. I mean, once you get in the groove of it, it flies by. But I do suggest that people buy a reloader and see about getting primers. They're a little hard to come by right now, but you know, get your powder, your primers, and everything, your lead, and start reloading that ammo. It'll save you a buttload of money.
Yeah. Jeez.
Because you think about it, it cost me maybe $10 worth of supplies to reload 500 rounds. So
Huh.
and you compare that to going out and buying 500 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I went to I found some cheap ammo, but I've looked at other places, and man, a box of 500 rounds of just 22 long rifles is outrageous. I remember being able to buy 500 rounds for $10.
Yeah. Jeez.
But we try to I try to be prepared for anything that might come down the line, especially an economic collapse, because that's the most likely thing to happen. I mean, other than that, maybe a grid down scenario would be probably the second thing that I would be prepping for, especially with all the hacking going on into the power plants and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, when that one guy, and they still don't know who it is, who poisoned the water supply, and now our power grid is still exposed, I think, for like another 60 days. I said, what's next?
Oh yeah. Well, it wasn't that long ago. Somebody had broke into a natural gas supply line. I think it was out west, like Colorado or someplace like that. But there was like 6,000 people that didn't have any gas for heat. So the police had to go around taking space heaters to these people. And it took them a while to get the gas back on. So could you imagine how long it took to take 6,000 people space heaters to warm their homes? I'm figuring that took a few days anyhow.
It's ridiculous.
So imagine, the power, they screw up the power grid, and people are not going to be prepared, especially those that have electric heat and electric cook stoves. And I have backup generators. I have 2 backup generators here at the house. And then I have, like I said, solar and wind so far out at our bug out location. So
solar generators or gas generators that you have?
I have one solar here and one gas generator here. So,
because I really want to get a generator before hurricane season hits, but I don't know how much it would cost to get a solar generator for my house.
The solar generators are pretty expensive. I recommend starting out with a gas generator, honestly.
I mean, even if it was just enough to do like the freezer, the fridge, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, our solar generator here would run all of our appliances, and we'd be able to have a few lights. Now, my gas generator is enough to power my entire home. And so I have both options. Say that something happened to my gas powered, I'd still have the solar to back it up. But my main backup is the gas generator, because it puts out more ampage.
Right.
And I can hook up to it. It has 4 outlets of 110. It has a hookup for a camper on it, and it has oh crap, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what it's called now. But anyhow, it has several different power supply options. I hook it straight into my power panel in the house. So power goes out, I unhook a couple of wires, hook up a different couple, tighten them down, fire it up, and I'm good to go. And I always keep plenty of fuel on hand to where I can run the generator for at least a couple of weeks without running out of fuel.
Right.
And I have a couple of 55-gallon drums of fuel stored out here, and I keep stable in it, and I rotate it out periodically.
Yeah, and with the way gas prices are going up, it doesn't just affect, our cars. It also affects if you've got propane in your house and things like that. Because my mother-in-law is going through that right now. So, because she's got propane.
We have several different types of backups for heat source. Our house is natural gas. So if the power goes out, I can still run it off of my generator. I can still run my furnace because it's gas. But I've got some propane wall heaters. I've got a couple of the Big Buddy propane heaters. And then I've got some electric heaters. And then behind me, I've got a kerosene heater. I've got a few of those. It warmed the shed up pretty good. But we want to have backup for backup for backup.
Yeah.
And we have enough stuff stored up to where when the economy does collapse and everybody's in a panic, we're going to be fine. We'll still go stand out in the food lines and stuff because we don't want people knowing what we got. We want them to think
that's the one thing, to turn like a gray man. You know what I mean? Yeah. You want to blend in as much as you possibly can. So, you want to stand in those bread lines and stuff like that. But
we'll also be cutting back on how much we eat so that we can actually look like we're losing weight along with everybody else, because everybody else is going to be losing weight. Yeah. So if you show up at the bread line and you're still the same weight or heavier, people are going to say, there's something up here. We're going to his house and see what the hell's going on.
Right. And that's the thing, you don't want to look healthy.
Yeah. Now, see, today I had to go for a COVID test because, and see, this drives me nuts. I have a pulmonary test set up for Monday because I have COPD. They want to see if it got any worse. Okay. So in order to be able to go for the pulmonary test, I had to have a COPD or a COVID test done 3 days prior to going in, which meant I had to come in off the road early yesterday, and I had to leave out late on Monday. So I'm losing money there because I had to take the stupid COVID test. It's annoying, but they want to see if if my lungs have gotten any worse, because I've had COPD for years. I'm in the early part of the second stage of COPD.
But you're still smoking, I see.
Yeah. I've been smoking for over 30 years. It ain't going away anytime soon. And I told everybody, look, smoking's what's going to kill me, and I'm fine with that. I've accepted that fact. I mean, I've been shot, stabbed, beaten, blown up, and ran over. I've survived all that. Well, I've actually died 4 times on the operating table, but I actually do have 4 signed death certificates. Because I have died 4 times in my life. And the great thing is I am an organ donor. So until the transplant team gets there, they generally put me on an artificial heart. They'll crack my chest and hook up all the tubes and stuff. And generally that's what actually brings me back to life, is just leave me on that for a while, and it circulates my blood, and my heart started pumping again. So I'm not afraid of death. Never have been.
No, but still, you can, still. No.
The way the world's going, do I really want to live forever?
It doesn't matter. That's how we lost my father-in-law with COPD emphysema. Stop it.
Odds are I'll probably die of a heart attack before I die from smoking, to be honest.
Excuses.
Think about it. I'm a truck driver. I don't get any exercise. I eat a lot of fatty foods. The odds are I will have a heart attack before the lungs actually get me. No, especially since nobody wants to let you out of your truck to get any exercise nowadays. I try to get out and walk around. They tell me, you got to stay in your truck. Why? What am I hurting? Even at truck stops, I used to get out and walk around the perimeter of the truck stop in the grass and stuff. Well, you can't be out here walking around. You might get ran over. I'm like, who the hell's going to run me over in the grass? Okay. And you really think I can't see a big truck coming at me? I've been doing this for a long time. If I can't see a big truck coming, I deserve to get ran over.
Oh.
I mean, but as a shipper receiver, I used to get out and walk around all the time. They won't let me out to walk around. I'm like, it's just me walking around the parking lot. Nobody else around me. What am I hurting?
Mm.
Well, you're too big of a liability. For what? I don't worry about it, shit. When it's your appointed time to die, you're going to die. That's how I've always looked at it. You won't die until God says it's your time. And I'm not a big religious person anymore. Yes, I used to be. And yes, I'm still an ordained minister. I don't practice, but
someone has a question. They want to know what brand solar generator you have.
I honestly couldn't tell you right offhand. I've had it for years, and I done and forgot the name of it.
All right.
Well, dang. I wish I could tell you. I mean, I could tell you the brand of the power generator I got. It's the Generac system, for the gas powered one. It's cheap, but it works extremely well. I've never had any real problems out of it.
All right. All right. Now, the question was brought to my attention, so I was just.
Yeah, I'd have to go look, and it is so cold out there. I am not running outside right now.
Combat bacon at We the People Prepping. Oh boy, you're looking for a scolding now from Autumn. Yes. Listen, I'm only looking out.
Like I said, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I should have been dead long time ago, honestly, but it's not my time. I think about it. I was shot dead center of the chest. Okay, with no body armor on or anything like that. I died on the operating table. They put me on an artificial heart to keep my organs viable until the transplant team could get there to harvest my organs. Well, they had me stored down in the morgue, and I just sat up with the artificial heart pumping blood through and everything. And I about gave the mortician a heart attack.
My God, yeah.
They did. They had a toe tag on me and everything. They had my death certificate and all the paperwork all right there on the gurney, right beside me. I have a copy of it in the house.
Oh yeah.
Well, they tried to revive me on the table for like 10 minutes, and they couldn't get my heart to restart. So they hooked up all the artificial stuff to circulate the blood through me. Lo and behold, I came out of it. Of course, then they still had to go back in and operate and remove the bullet because they didn't get it out before I died. But it was one of those things. I've got a slug sits a half inch from my spine right now. It's been there for 20 plus years. They won't remove it because it could cripple me. I mean, I've got a plate in my head. Yeah. I don't know if you'd be able to see the scar running right up through here.
Oh my God, with all these new releases on life, and you're still just smoking away as if, holy shit.
Like I said, I ain't going to die before it's my time. When it's my appointed time, then I'll die. Nobody can stop that. You can't you can't prolong your life any longer than God says that you're going to live. So,
Yeah, but you can sure as hell help it. My God. Oh
my wife's always on my ass about stuff. So,
well, yeah, now you got someone else right in your ass. Get off the cigarettes.
And do what? Vape? That's just as bad for me. It's just as bad
for me. What the hell is wrong with you? That's it.
I mean,
my God. I'm going to send you all these vitamins that I've been taking. I feel good. I've been taking vitamins. No. No. No.
Let's just put it this way. I've been married to my wife now for a little over 5 years. All right. The first night that we got together and she's seen me without any clothes on, it scared her because I kind of looked like Frankenstein.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
She couldn't believe all the scars all over my body. To this day, she still finds scars that she'd never seen before, and she'll point it out and she'll go, where'd you get this one? Where'd you get that one? Yeah. I mean, that's why nobody ever sees me without a shirt on, and I don't wear shorts because a good 80% of my body's covered in scars.
From surgeries.
Surgeries, combat, just all sorts of things. Like I said before, I worked as basically it's a contract security job, but it's basically you're a mercenary. That's what it amounts to. They hire you to protect them in combat situations. And I've been shot, stabbed, beaten, blown up, ran over. I mean, there's not a whole lot that hadn't been done to me. And I lived through it. I'll live through until it's time for me to go.
Yeah, no.
I mean, my body's riddled with arthritis. So, I'm just, it is what it is.
Is it?
Yeah. It don't bother me. I've faced the fact that I'm going to die.
Yeah, we all are, but guess what? We can prolong it by taking care of ourselves, can't we?
Well,
holy hell.
Yeah, if I came in off the road and started going back and working out and everything again, yeah, I could probably put another 10 years on my life. But do I really want to live that extra 10 years with the way the world is?
Well, you're putting all of this effort into your bug out location with your mag.
There's a reason
for money and time and energy.
But
you're
that's
not even going to freaking use it because you're killing yourself.
But see, I'm not doing that for myself. I do that to make sure that my wife and my kids have something and are protected for when I'm gone. I don't worry about me. I've never worried about me.
Yeah, but I'm sure your wife and kids worry about you. Yes?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, think about it. If there is a true SHTF situation, odds are I'm going to give my life to protect my wife and kids. So they'd wind up losing me either way. I don't, Yep,
Put it down. Put it down. I'm going to talk to you like I talk to my husband. Put it down because everyone. There's people in here. Tell them. Yeah.
I don't worry about it.
You're not worried about it.
Somebody asked what my reloader was. Mine is actually a Remington reloader. It was made by Remington Company.
Yeah, combat bacon. I'm not his mother.
Oh,
Over
I'm
21.
definitely over 21.
Well, you know what? My son's going to be 23 and he's in the Marines, and I still tell him what to do. So,
Yeah, but I'm older than you are.
someone's got to talk some damn sense into you.
My mama tried that. It didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mama beat me with a frying pan before. That didn't work. So she cracked an iron skillet over my head because I was beating my brother to death.
Oh,
And then she told me I owed her a new iron skillet.
No, I'm serious. I quit smoking 9 years ago. January 23rd was 9 years. And it's because I started vaping. And the reason why I quit was because I couldn't even lay down to sleep. I had to sleep sitting up because I couldn't breathe while I was laying down. And so I had discovered vaping, and I felt good instantly, and I was with a friend of mine and she was still smoking, and she said, well, here, just try smoking again. And I was like, I can't even stand the smell. I can't even be around it, and I never picked it up again. And I
tried to quit smoking on several occasions. And I was doing pretty good at one point. I'd gone for about 6-7 months without a cigarette. And I got into a very heated argument, and it turned into a fight. And basically, after the fight was over with, I needed a cigarette.
Well, stress will do that to you, sure.
I mean, and the thing is, I probably wouldn't have got into the fight, except I was already on edge from not smoking, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And you know how it is when you're jonesing for nicotine.
Yeah, I do. I still do. Yeah.
But, and I tried the vape thing, and it did not work for me for nothing. No. I've tried the electronic cigarettes; they don't work. I've tried the patches. I've tried the gum. Hell, they put me on medications to try to get me to stop smoking. That stuff didn't work. It gave me nightmares. It just increased my PTSD to where, this one of the side effects of it is it'll cause extreme nightmares. And, they already knew I had PTSD. So, yeah, let's give him something that's going to amplify that.
Right.
I mean, I took this stuff. The first night I took it, I had such a vivid dream. I ran through my bedroom door.
Are you talking about that Chantrix or whatever it's Chantix?
Chantix.
Yeah. That stuff.
I mean, we had a solid oak bedroom door. I ran through it. That's how vivid the dream was. I jumped up out of bed and I plowed through the bedroom door naked.
Yeah, that medication actually was extremely dangerous. A friend of mine, Kathy, she was on it, and it caused a pulmonary embolism, and it killed her.
Mm.
Yeah.
But see, you don't give something like that to somebody that has been diagnosed with PTSD.
No, I know.
I mean, I don't know what the hell my doctor was thinking on that. Because I mean, I've had PTSD since I was younger. I mean, when I was a young man, my best friend the bullet was meant for me, but he stepped in front of me and he took the bullet, and I held him as he died in my arms.
Oh my God.
Okay. So that was my first thing that's triggered PTSD in my life. Then there's all the combat situations I'd been in. When you take somebody's life, it's something that never goes away out of your mind, ever. I close my eyes for 1 minute and I see these people's faces.
Yeah.
And I hear their scream. So, these are things that I've learned to deal with, but you don't want to get me on a medication that's going to amplify that situation to where I can't deal with it.
Right.
So given the choice between taking meds that are going to do that to me or smoke, I'm going to stay smoking. You know, it's that simple. You know, and God, you know, what would have happened if my wife would have gotten my way that night? You know, when I was having that nightmare and I plowed through the bedroom door, what would have happened to her if she would have gotten my way? Because I mean, it's like my uncle. My uncle suffered from PTSD. He was a Vietnam and Korea veteran. He would jump up in the middle of the night, run through the house screaming about incoming and all sorts of shit. And the dog got in his way. And he had a big German Shepherd. And the dog got in his way. He snapped the dog's neck and kept on running. You know, I mean, that was his training kicked in, you know, and he was asleep. So imagine, you know, what would have happened if my wife would have gotten my way? Because I went through a lot of that same training. You know, I mean, it's bad enough. My wife has had to duck a couple of punches in the sleep while I'm asleep before. You know, she'll tell you it's dangerous to sleep in the same bed with me. You know, but you know, she sleeps far enough away now to where I can't reach her if I do punch. You know, but like when she was on the truck with me, I missed punching her in the face by half inch because I got into a fight in my sleep. And I punched, and I punched through the cab wall of my truck. And that cost me a pretty penny to have fixed, you know, because it's fiberglass, you know, it ain't a big deal.
I need car keys.
You need the car keys. They're in my coat.
Where's your coat? Kenny.
Why? What happened?
That piece popped out again on my car.
I told him to have that fixed. That was my wife, by the way. But my brother-in-law's CV axle keeps popping out on his SUV. And I keep telling him to take it in and have it fixed. And well, it just popped out and now he's stranded. So, you know, he don't listen. You know, that's, you know, I told him he needs to keep the vehicle in good enough running order to where if he needs to get out of here in a hurry, he'd be able to get out and go. But, you know, he looked at me one day, he goes, well, you got two vehicles. I was like, yeah, and I'm going to take at least one of them. You know?
People don't realize how much car maintenance is a part of prepping.
Oh yeah. I mean, so. my cars are nothing pretty. Okay. We have an old Buick, a tree branch fell on the back of it. So it's dented up on the ass end. Hit a deer with it on the driver's quarter panel. He was good eating, but you know, you know, but mechanically, there's not a damn thing wrong with that car. It runs like a stripe ass 8. I mean, it'll shit and get down the road. I mean, I've never had a problem starting it, nothing. Same way with my Jeep. It's an old mail Jeep. It looks like crap, been beat all to hell, but that sucker will fire up and the front end will come up off the ground on that thing when I step on the gas. You know, my vehicles are always in perfect working order, and I have plenty of supplies in my vehicles. You know, I keep extra parts in there because there's certain parts on vehicles that I know that are going to break down. So I keep those parts in my car, you know, like extra belts, you know, extra coil packs for the car. It has the coil pack system on it. I hate it, but it is what it is. Extra spark plugs, stuff like that. I even keep extra fuel pumps, you know, because I can fix my car on the side of the road in no time. I keep tools in the trunk. You know, I am the epitome of a prepper when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we just had work done to my son's car because we have my son's car here because he's in boot camp. So I just had oil change, motor mounts put on. So, you know, all that good stuff. So
yeah, see, I keep extra hoses. I even
Yeah.
keep extra lengths of rubber hose for gas line and stuff like that in case I break a gas line. You know,
Yeah.
'cause if there's an SHTF, I ain't gonna be able to stop it in an auto zone and get it parked. You know?
No. Yeah.
I keep extra antifreeze, extra oil, all that stuff. You
Yeah.
know, everybody's like, well, you don't have no room in your car. Well, there's enough room to throw some groceries in there. That's all I need. Because I keep a full size tent in the back. In the wintertime, I keep firewood back there. I keep ways of lighting fire. I keep flashlights, lanterns, tarps, sleeping bags, just you name it, it's in my car. So if I had to leave the house without say I couldn't grab my bug out bag before I left the house, my car's loaded down with everything I need to survive. I got emergency food out there for a week for 2 people in the
Nice.
car. I mean, it's the dehydrated food, but hey, I got water filter. I've got water filters. I can filter water, heat it up. Hey, I got a meal. So,
Yeah.
but I tried to post a video of it on YouTube, and it was a funny video, but it was a video of everything that I kept in the trunk of my car. And YouTube pulled the video down because for the video, I had my wife climb in the trunk of the car, and her and the dog were in the trunk of the car. I closed it up, and then I was like, in the video, I go, I'm going to show you guys things that you should always keep in the trunk of your car for an emergency. I pop the trunk, and the first thing you see is my wife and dog. It was a joke, but they pulled the video back down, wouldn't even let it post.
No. Yeah.
I'm like, really? It's a joke.
They don't think so.
I mean, I pop the trunk, the dog's sitting there, his tail's wagging. My wife's got a big old smile, but they pulled the damn video down. I'm like, you guys didn't even let it go up.
No. They check everything. I mean, like, there is a video that I put up today, and like because it was so controversial, the subject matter that I was talking about, for the first 5 minutes, I have to tap dance and literally like throw them off so they don't know what's coming after that 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And it's because I had to talk about blood banks and are they safe to use anymore, especially after this vaccine. And if I were to come right out and say it,
they would.
Are blood banks safe? Oh my God, I would have been flagged. My channel would have gotten deleted and everything else. So yeah.
Well, like I went to post a rant video on there. I started uploading that the day before, early afternoon. It didn't post until the next day at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And by the time it posted, I already had like fucking 10 views on it. I'm like, really, people? All it was me going off about the bullshit going on. I was actually surprised it got up considering how I went off in the video, especially toward the end.
I mean, it just sucks that, because there's such censorship on people like us, because they want to censor us, preppers. They want to censor us because they don't want what we have to say to get out, I mean, like, especially because what I had to say in today's video was brought to my attention by a subscriber. And what she had to say, which was what I reiterated in a video, was so, I mean, important. It had to get out. And it's terrible that I literally had to say, oh, well, do you see the my new coffee bar that my husband built for me, and I had to talk about that and show a wreath that, you know, I had put up in support of my son, and a flower arrangement. And that's what I talked about for 5 friggin' minutes, just to throw YouTube off. Seriously? So I can then talk about the dangers of receiving a blood transfusion? Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, this is literally what we have to do in order to get the word out.
Yeah. And there's a lot of subjects that no matter how you try to tap dance around them, if you so much as mention them, that video will not get posted, and they could very well cancel your channel altogether.
Yes.
Now, I've had people email me and ask me, well, can you do a video on this? Or can you do a video on that? And I have to tell them, look, if I do a video on this, my whole channel's gone.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. If I so much as mention this subject, they have already told us that they will pull our channel down.
That's why I do what I do. That's why I literally, and I'll say in the beginning of my videos, get ready for a tap dance. And everybody knows, oh shit, what does she have to say now? They know.
Even at that, there's times that they will still catch it and pull the damn video.
I literally, for 5 or 6 minutes, I'll sit there and just blah, 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 blah. But they know to go like 5, 6 minutes ahead of time in the video. Yeah. They know. Yeah, my subscribers, they know.
I have a tendency in some of my videos, I'll start out nice and mild.
Yeah.
And then just start building. Yeah.
And you literally have to have a fake smile on your face.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just to, you know, I'm not doing anything wrong.
It's so stupid to have to do this stuff. I mean, what happened to free speech?
There's no such thing anymore.
You know, I mean, I grew up in generations where, you know, you spoke your mind, and if somebody didn't like it, they could step up and start swinging, or they can walk the hell off. You know,
not anymore.
Now you got all these keyboard warriors and stuff. I mean, I got an email not that long ago because I made a video and I was talking about how I didn't believe in the transgender being forced on the kids at school and all that kind of stuff, right? So I got an email about that video from somebody in the LGBTQ community threatening me, saying that if they ever see me, they would slit my throat. Okay. Well, I sent them an email back and told them, well, if you just give me your address, I'll come to you. Okay. And then on top of it, I told them to suck it and send them a dick pic.
Oh my God. Why would you do that?
Because I'm an asshole. And you know, if they want to slit my throat, give me your address. I will show up on your front door. I will hand you the knife and say, here, have at it, buddy.
Oh, you know, my God.
I am that kind of person. You know, I had a guy threaten me in the next town over here. He'd made a threat on the phone to me, called me up and made a threat. How he got my number, I have no idea. But I knew where he lived. I drove right to his house. I handed him the gun. I said, if you got the balls, pull the fucking trigger. You know, I don't care. I am not playing games. He didn't pull the trigger. He wouldn't even take the gun. So I kicked the crap out of him and I drove back home. You know, I will not play. You want to make threats on me? Hey, be prepared to back it up. You know, my wife that you just seen in here, when we got together, her ex-husband made all sorts of threats on me. I mean, anything and everything you could imagine, he was threatening me with. All I said to him was a few little words on the phone. Shut the fuck up and step up. Automatically, he went to the police and filed it for a restraining order against me. And all I said was shut the fuck up and step up. But he threatened that he's going to bash my head in, slit my throat, hang me upside down, and gut me like a hog, all sorts of stuff. You know, but I'm the one that gets in trouble for saying shut the fuck up and step up.
Wow.
You know, I mean, I don't play no shit. You know, to this day, he still runs every time he sees me. We go to pick up her kids. I have to drop her off and drive down the road. And then she can pick up the kids and calls me when he's left so I can come back up and pick her and the kids up. That's how afraid of me he is. And I've never said that anything but that to him. You know? But you know, if you're going to threaten me, follow through on it. That's all I got to say about it. I don't take threats. You know, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I expect the same from whoever says something to me. You know, and you can ask my wife if she was out here. I'll have her out some other time, and she'll tell you. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. No matter what it is. You know, I've told her, you know, that she would never have to work ever. Well, while we were together, she's not worked a day one. You know, her job's to stay at home, and a lot of people disagree with that. That's their right. Her place is to take care of my home, and you know, be here for me when I come home. It's my place to take care of everything else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a traditionalist, so I've gotten some hate mail over that. I really have.
No, my husband's the same way. So is his father. My father's the same way.
Yeah. But I've gotten people that have told me, you know, that I'm a chauvinist and all this other stuff because I don't want my wife out working and all that. Hey, this is my life. None of my wives have ever had to work. I take care of everything. When me and my first wife got a divorce, I took care of every bill she had for the first 3 years of the divorce, plus paid her child support on top of that until she was able to take care of herself.
Right.
Okay. That's the kind of person I am. I told her I was going to do it, and I did it. That included car maintenance, gas for her car, you know, paying her gas, electric, water, trash, all that stuff. Any home repairs that needed done. You know, I gave her the house when we got a divorce. I said, look, you can have it. Okay. Because I'm on the road. I'm giving you the kids. You get the house. You know, it was a nice 5-bedroom house. It was all paid for. She got it. That was
I consider myself lucky to be able to stay home and to have raised my son, you know. I considered myself lucky. While all of my friends, they were all single moms and had to work and blah, blah, blah. And here I am, happily married, raising my kid, not having to work. I was lucky. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. I mean, I tell them when I've gotten with every one of my wives, I told them, look, this is me straight up. I'm a traditionalist. If we're going to be together, you're not going to work. Okay. I'll take care of all the bills and everything. If we have a disagreement about how something should be done, I will listen to her. I will take her advisement. But if I disagree with it and we can't settle it, then it's whatever I decide. And then if it's the wrong decision, it's on me. And I take full responsibility for it.
But that's how it was back in the pioneer days. The husbands went, they worked, they went hunting, they went fishing, while the wives stayed home, took care of the kids, took care of the home.
Yeah. And she's never wanted for nothing since we've been together. This woman has she has more clothes and shoes and everything that she could want than most women could ever dream of.
I never have to ask. If I need something, I go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I've always told her, look, you need something, you got a bank card, go get it. You know? And I buy her stuff all the time while I'm out on the road. I'll have stuff sent to the house. She has no idea it's coming. You know, just surprising her all the time. You know, She doesn't ask me for anything because she knows that whatever she asks for, she gets anyhow. You know, so I don't understand why people have a problem with that kind of a lifestyle. It's my job as head of the house to take care of my wife, my kids, and my bills. It's her job to take care of the home, the kids, and have me some food when I come in. You know, what's so bad about that? I don't see anything wrong with that.
No.
You know, but oh my God, I've been called so many things because of my beliefs and how I run my household. Well, you know, it's my household. If you don't like it, don't run your household that way.
No.
You know, but I'm not going to change who I am. And my wife would kill anybody that made me have to change because she's got a damn good life.
Yeah.
You know?
I love my life. Are you kidding? I wouldn't change. I mean, I have an awesome house. I have a wonderful husband. I have my son who is living his dream right now of being a Marine. I couldn't ask for anything better, you know?
And see, I've also been accused of being anti-gay and all that. Now, here's the thing. I put this in a video once before. My son had a friend when he was back in high school, just started high school. Okay. He came out to his parents and told his parents that he was gay.
Okay.
His parents were going to give him up to the state because he came out about being gay. Well, my son brought him over to the house, introduced me to him, told me the situation. I talked to him. Yeah, he was gay as a $3 bill. No big deal to me. I took him in. I finished up his high school, and then I sent him through college, and now he's a nurse. So if I was anti-gay, why would I do something like that?
You would have never opened your home. You would have closed the door.
Right. You know, and one of these days I'll have him come over and be on a video or something with me. I mean, he's a busy guy. He works as an emergency room nurse, so you know he's really busy. But if I can ever get him to, I'll have him on a video. He'll tell you himself. You know, there ain't a damn prejudice bone in my body about gay people. I have no problem with your sexual orientation or what you do behind closed doors. Just don't force it onto my children and tell them, oh, you have to accept this. You have to accept. No, you don't have to accept a man going into a women's bathroom.
Right.
Okay. If a man walks into that bathroom with one of my kids, I am going to lay that motherfucker out. Plain and simple.
Well, even a lot of gay people or LGBTQ people don't agree with those policies.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I talk to him all the time about this stuff, and he's like, man, I don't know where they're coming up with this because I have no agreement with any of this whatsoever.
Right.
He goes, if I was dressed up as a woman, I would still go in and use the men's room. You know? He goes, I got a sausage hanging, and that's the room for that. You know?
That's a good way of looking at it, yeah.
You know? But, you know, he doesn't agree with any of that stuff. So, you know, for them to be pushing all this bullshit and trying to tell my kids, well, you can be whatever sex you want to be. No, you can either be male or female. There is no other sex. You can have a sexual preference, which I have no problem with. But you cannot change your sex without chopping your junk off, okay? Or having surgery to add some junk, you know? I mean, that's all there is to it. And even then, you're still either going to be a man or a woman.
Right.
So there is no other sex. I mean, I have never ran across, yeah, I did run across a hermaphrodite one time. You know, no big deal. He called himself a guy because that's what he identified as. He had the equipment, you know. I mean, it was just, but he also had the female equipment, but he had the physique of a guy. He had a beard and everything. So he was a guy. You know, that's what he identified as. You know, his parents left it up to him to decide his gender when he got older, according to his appearance. If he would have been an effeminate person, with an hourglass figure or whatever, then he may have chose to be a female, but that was his choice. They left that open to him. He grew up to be a guy. He wound up going in for surgery to close up the other genitalia, but hey, it was his choice, but he never claimed to be, a unicorn.
Oh Lord.
I mean, he came right out and he told me, that he was a hermaphrodite when we first met.
Oh, a hermaphrodite. Those are the ones that are born with both.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, he chose when he got older to be a guy. So he had the surgery to close up the other, and, but if he would have chose to be a girl, I would have been fine with that too. I mean, I mean, hell, we went through school together from junior high through high school. I didn't give a shit about his sexual preference or what he had between his legs or nothing like that. And that was his business. People need to learn to mind their own business about other people's sex lives and stuff.
About everything about someone else's life in all aspects. If it doesn't concern you directly, it's none of your damn business, but
right?
Who the hell am I to say anything? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I don't care what my neighbors are doing in their house. As long as they're not hurting anybody,
right?
That's their business. Now, if they're beating on their kids and their kids, I find out about it, I'm going to beat on them. But, other than that, I don't care. They can have orgies over there as far as I care. And as long as they're not bringing it out in my yard, I don't care. I mean, it's none of my business. I mind my own because I've got enough problems of my own. I don't need to stick my nose in other people's business. And I'll help anybody. I've helped a lot of people get into prepping just in my area, because they didn't know where to start.
Right.
They're confused because it gets overwhelming. You got all these channels telling people, well, you need to do this and this and this and this. And I just tell them, look, start out slow, take it one step at a time. When you go to the store, if you're buying 4 cans of green beans, buy 12 instead. Put the 8 extra back and then use up that 4. When you go to the store again to buy more green beans, buy another case. Put 8 of them back and use the other 4. And then before you know it, you're going to have more damn food than you know what to do with. Right. I mean, I've got food hidden everywhere in my house. My sister came over and wanted to borrow a DVD, so she got into my entertainment cabinet. And she's like, why is there food stacked in your entertainment cabinet? Where are your CDs?
That's funny. Yeah.
It was hilarious, because I run out of places to put it, so I find wherever I can.
Yeah, we've used my son's closet. He's got 5-gallon buckets stacked on top of each other full of non-perishables that are repackaged in Mylar bags. I mean, that's what we had to do.
Yeah, you go into any closet in my home and about 3 foot of the closet is nothing but food stacked up. Yeah. And then the rest, and then up above it is clothes hanging.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife has to put her shoes on top of the food.
Yeah. My son's sneakers are sitting on top of the 5-gallon buckets. Oh, well, that's what we had to do. You want to survive after something happens, put your shoes on there. It's food. Leave it alone.
We stack water as well.
Okay. Yeah. We've got water underneath all the beds.
Well, see, I have a bunch of these jugs like this that are stackable.
Yeah, the water bricks. Yeah.
You can lay them on their sides and stack them up. This is a 5-gallon jug.
Yeah.
Okay.
The water brick. Yeah.
I put 4 gallons of water in it, and then I lay it flat underneath my trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if it freezes, it's got room to expand.
Mm-hmm.
but I've got these the entire length of my trailer, except where I can't put it, like where the water lines and stuff are. But I mean,
Right.
the underneath of my trailer is just packed with these things. You know, I've got several hundreds of gallons of water under there. So, you know, and I don't really change it out because I've got water filters. So if the water, you know, gets stale or whatever, I run it through a damn water filter. I'm good. You know, so I have the big Berkey system, you know, and then we're looking into buying the travel Berkey, but like out at our bug out location, we also have the big Berkey out there, and then we have a reverse osmosis system. But all of that is, you know, all over the water out there, it comes out of wells anyhow, which is natural spring wells. So we're tapped right into the aquifer.
Ah, okay.
So, I mean, we got 3 wells. They're all connected to the aquifer. And it's actually a pretty sweet water. And we've had it tested, the water out there, and I had my city water tested, and the water coming out of the well was a lot better than the water coming out of my faucet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I have a water filter on my spigots because I don't like the water. It's disgusting.
yeah. I don't like all the chemicals they put in it. It just, you know, when it comes out of your faucet and it smells like chlorine, you know that
Yeah.
can't be good for you. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, we run all of our drinking water through the big Berkey, and, you know, we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and it's hard water here in town too, because I mean, I put in a new toilet last year and already it's got hard water buildup on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know,
Same here. We've got hard water. Yeah.
it's annoying as hell, especially in the shower, trying to scrub that off of there. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
know. Believe me, I know that. And we've got lime that comes through because all of our roads are underneath the roads is lime rock.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now there's here in town, we actually have a well out here, but I will not drink the water out of this well. It smells like sulfur.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
So I will not drink the well water here in town. So
Yeah, you got to treat it with a certain with salt or something.
yeah.
I think.
But I mean, the water we have out at the bug out location, we don't have to treat it. I mean, you can drink it straight up out of the well, and that stuff is ice cold when it comes out of that pump. Let me tell you, and it's really good tasting water. But you know, I got concerned years ago about the way that the state of the country was, and that really made me have to crack down. And you know, I don't spend much money fixing up this house here. All my
No.
money goes out to the bug out location, you know, because I figure out there, you know, that's a better investment than the in-town house, you know. But probably don't have very many people left now. They got into all that discussion about all that other stuff, but I don't do like a lot of the channels where they have a script that they read off of and stuff like that. I play it by ear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more fun that way to me. You know, I don't want to have to sit here and say, okay, if this happened, what would you do? Or if that happened, what would you do? Yeah. I mean, that's all good and well, but that's just not my style.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I know like Angry, he has a list of questions that he asks people.
Yeah, he does.
And that works for him. But for me, that wouldn't really work. That's because I'm not that kind of a person to where I ask formatted questions, you know.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I've asked people, you know, like, okay, what would you do if this situation happened or that situation happened? But I make them realistic situations.
Right.
You know?
Well, like the one where, you know, if you were walking through the woods and you found the prepper cache, you know, would you
Yeah.
take it or
Would-
leave it, well, really all depends on the situation.
Yeah. I mean, more than likely, I would wind up leaving it because I'm already going to have everything I need anyhow.
Well,
Yeah.
right, but if you
now,
were 10 years in, would you have?
yeah. See, now, if I'm 10 years into it and I'm still walking around in the woods, yeah, I'm going to take whatever I can find.
Right.
Because if I'm 10 years into it and I'm still walking around in the woods, that means I wasn't as prepared as I should have been.
Right.
Exactly. So, but if in 10 years I'm out hunting and I come across it and I don't need it, I'm still leaving it where it's at. Because odds are I'm not going to need it. Because like I said, that's why I formed this mag. I started this mag out with just a few friends and family, and then we expanded it out. I used social media to reach people in my community, that were like-minded. I vet everybody, and I mean I vet them hard before I even accept them into the mag. I do all sorts of tests with them, and they don't even know they're being tested a lot of times.
Right.
I mean, like we had one guy that wanted to join the mag, and I had him over to the house. I left about $600 cash laying on my counter, and then I left him alone in the room with the money. And I have security cameras that he didn't know I do, but I seen him on the security camera taking $300 of the money and leaving the rest. And then when he went to leave, I was like, all right, now you need to hand me back my $300 and get the hell out of my house.
Right.
And like I'll take guys out on bug out bag weekends where it's just me and them. We only take what's in our bug out bags. We trap, we fish, we hunt, and I will purposely not catch any fish, not trap anything, or shoot anything, and let them get food for themselves. And then I'll come back to the camp and I'll be like, man, I couldn't get shit. And he'll have all this food, and I'll go, you look like you got more than enough. You want to share? That's a test right there.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to share, if you're not willing to share your food, then you don't need to be in my mag.
Right.
Because that's what a mag's all about, is sharing and helping each other out.
Right. I have to let my dogs out. Excuse me. All right, guys, hang on. Oh, Brandon. Yeah, hurry up quick. So one thing, I always have to let the dogs out.
Oh, yeah. Now we know who it was that let the dogs out, huh? But I'm not afraid for myself. I don't prep for me. I prep for my family.
Yeah.
And I've been afraid of what's coming down the line with the financial stuff for a long time. And that I try to impress that on everybody in my family because they don't understand why I do what I do. And I tell them, look, just look at this last year alone. That should be more than enough reason for you to start saving up money and stacking your food, water, have a plan put together, write out your plan, and give it to each member of your family that's going to be part of that plan so they know what to do in an emergency.
Right.
Like I have folders with all of our bug out locations and stashes and stuff like that. Back.
Yeah. That car home with our car.
You better not have tore up my car.
No, they did. She said it's bumper to bumper, so.
Okay. I don't know why they didn't just use a tow strap or something.
And he's letting know if he can borrow our car to go to work.
What time does he get home?
7 in the morning.
I ain't got nowhere to go tonight, so let him take it.
I told him
They'll
he
have to
probably
put some
would.
gas in.
I ain't telling you that, but I told him to let him borrow the car.
They probably better put some gas in it because I don't know how much is in it right now.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead and tell him.
He's outlining the bubble light.
Oh, duck down so she can see who you are. Get in the
I'm right
camera.
beside you.
She can't see you. Do you see yourself on camera?
Hi.
Hi.
See, this is the reason that I prep.
Yes.
You know? And she's quite young compared to me. So, she's got a lot more life left in her than I do. And
Well, my reason to prep will be home in about 5 minutes. So, yeah.
I mean, I've already told her, before, time and time again, if something bad happens and I gotta stand my ground, she's to run. Get the hell out of there, because since both of us dying, I'll hold everybody off while she gets away. That's the whole plan. Right.
Yeah, my husband will be home in about 5 minutes. So, yeah.
The only thing is, Chance won't run with mommy. He'll stay with daddy and fight.
Yeah, our dog won't necessarily. It's her dog, but he's taken to me more than he did to her. So he wouldn't follow her if she ran. He would stand beside me and fight. It's just, I don't. It's probably because I play with him more than she does.
Yeah, my husband's the same way with the dogs. He plays with them more.
Oh,
Just message you saying something.
Well, Mayberry just messaged me, said that it's been over 2 hours. You might want to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we've been talking that long.
Yeah.
I pay attention to the time. But yeah, we probably ought to. There's a lot of other channels live right now.
Yeah.
I see Prepper Nation. I just got notified that he just went live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That explains where everybody disappears to. Huh?
Right.
Yeah, I love a lot of these other channels. I actually post a list on a lot of my videos of channels I suggest people check out. And every time I interview somebody new, I put theirs on there as well. So yeah, it's been fun talking to you.
Yes. And quit smoking.
No.
Yes.
I've tried as well. He won't do it. Doctors even told him he won't do it.
Yeah.
The doctor's only take an educated guess at you.
Educated guess my ass.
Hey, I had a doctor tell me years ago that I would be in a wheelchair by the time I was 25 if I didn't cut out the shit that I was doing. And I'm still up and walking around.
Yeah.
And
the look on your wife's face, you're going to be in a wheelchair before the night is through. Mm-hmm.
If anything, she'll put me in the hospital being as young as she is.
Don't make me fly to Illinois and help her.
All right, well, we're going to call this a night.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fun. It really has. Everybody make sure you check out Autumn's channel. She's got a lot of very interesting content on there. But we'll call it a night here. We'll talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.